friends. I'm Bill Williams, and I want to welcome you back again to the 327 Experience, which is the podcast ministry of the Mountain Springs Church in the upper state of South Carolina. Excited to join you again. Thanks for tuning in. We've got a terrific episode right now. We're fortunate to have a couple of our staff members with us. And for today's podcast, we have two of our great staff members that oversee our children's ministry, Bailey Williams, and also oversee our youth ministry, and that is Grady Ellison. So we're excited to have them. We want to dig in, have a conversation with them, find out what's going on, and actually meet them and learn a little about them. So Bailey, Grady, welcome to the 327 Experience. We're really glad to have you. Before we dive into questions and you start talking about your ministry, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you like? What do you enjoy? Grady, we'll start with you.
Yeah, man, I like a lot of things, as most people. A lot of people like one specific thing, but I kind of hover around so many different other things, and a lot of seasonal hobbies as well, like deer hunting. That's only through September to January, and other stuff. I mean, everybody's got their favorite TV shows. I love binge watching stuff. Listening to music is a big one for me. Like, I have probably over 60 playlists that I made personally that I thought, man, this is great. People should listen to it. But that's just a fun hobby because I grew up in a musical household, and so kind of my way of expressing that is through playlists and listening to other things. And yeah, it's a lot of
So I have
stuff.
one question for you.
Okay.
So you mentioned deer hunting,
Okay.
which I grew up in a deer hunting family.
Yep.
Obviously, I don't do it anymore, which I'd love to get involved. But here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you by chance have any extra deer jerky?
Deer jerky?
Yes.
Absolutely not.
Oh.
That's like the last thing we make.
Is it
if
really?
we get anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
All of our stuff's processed, and we get tons of back straps. That's probably the best for us.
Okay,
Just
all right.
the back straps wrapped in bacon over a grill. That's
Well,
probably
if you
the best.
decide the next season that,
Mm-hmm.
we've got a little bit of extra that's yielded and we can make some jerky out of it, I like pepper jerky. So, all right, just say
Good
it.
to know.
Just say it. All right, Bailey, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, I'm Bailey. I'm the children's director here, and I'm currently a junior at Anderson University. I'm in elementary ed, and my concentration is LD, which is learning disability, so a branch of special education. And that really takes up a lot of my time and interest, so lesson planning and doing it with friends. But outside of that, when I do have free time, I also really like listening to music, and I took piano lessons for I think about 4 years. So if I have free time and I feel like it, I'll mess around on the piano. And I also really like reading. I have a lot of books. And so I've got 2 new ones that I'm starting. It's a John Grisham book and then another fantasy book that I'm hoping to get into when school gets out and I have time.
Good deal. So the 2 things that I heard, of course, the deer hunting, I heard that. But the 2 things that I focused on is you grew up in a family of that loves songs, singing, music.
Yeah.
You grew up liking the same thing, plus playing the piano. Do we ever see like you singing and you playing the piano anytime for us?
No.
That's out of the
No,
question.
That would be definitely far, far, far in the future.
Okay,
where,
all
like,
right.
Nathan gets sick and nobody, like Janet doesn't show up at all. Then maybe we could like pull out a guitar. But
So to pull out an old quote, so you're telling me there's a chance.
yeah,
All right.
I would be okay with that. I've
Okay.
always told Nathan, I was like, dude, if everyone in the church gets sick and it's just me, sure, I'll do it.
I'm going to remember that.
So
All right. Well, thank you both for joining us. This is a real treat to have you here. So let's dive in to some things that we want to learn about your ministry. So tell us a little bit about the ministry, what it's about, what you do, and just give us an overview of it. And Bailey, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so with the children's ministry, we have 2 separate times that kids meet during the week. The first time is on Sunday mornings, and that's 1st through 5th grade. So, I'm sorry, no, it's 1st through 4th grade. Once they get to 5th grade, they're down in the sanctuary. And so they come upstairs, they hang out, and then they'll go do their lesson. Someone will be up there teaching, and yeah, they'll just get to hang out with other kids and learn about the Lord. And then Wednesday night looks a little different. We're up here around 6:15, and we'll hang out with everybody, and then we'll go do our lesson, and it's one of 3 teachers teaching. We are currently wrapping up a series learning about the books of the Bible, so memorizing them and just learning what each book is about, who wrote it, and its purpose. And we're getting ready to move into our Easter series, which is one of my favorite times because of Holy Week and just all of the fun stuff that we do. but it's just a lot of fun and a lot of fellowship and just interacting and hanging out with your friends.
Now, I think I saw on one of our social media sites a couple weeks ago that you've already had a couple of students that have memorized the books of the Bible.
Yes.
So what happens? Do they get a treat?
Yes. So this past Wednesday, one of our newer girls, she had all of the Old Testament memorized last week. And then this week she came in and had all of the New Testament memorized. And so she was able to say all 66 books. And then at the end of the class, another girl was able to do it. So each time that someone memorizes and is able to tell us all 66 books, they will get like their own themed party. So this next Wednesday we have coming up, the first girl, she wanted a Hawaiian theme party. So We're going to have kind of a mini luau with that.
So if I can quote the 66 books of the Bible, can I get a theme party?
You have to be able to spell them too.
So you're telling me there's a chance. I'm just kidding. All right, Grady, tell us a little bit about your ministry.
Yeah, so we meet once a week on Wednesday nights from 6:15 to 8:15, and probably the best way to explain it is just through the schedule. So 6:15 to 7, we had just pre-service time, kids hang out, enjoy the time with each other, and then right at 7, we start our family time / worship time. We're on an alternating week schedule where 1 week we'll do worship in the background and we pray over a list of things. Usually that's other ministries throughout Mountain Springs or just their school life, home life, family stuff, or just fun events that are coming up, series that are coming up. We pray for a lot of stuff and we give them that chance to do that. And if we're not doing that on the other weeks, we're playing games, we're having fun, we're just growing in community in that way. And then from 7:15 to about 7:50, 8 o'clock, depends on how long I go, I get to teach a lesson, and it's really fun for me to do and dive into God's Word and not only be taught myself, but teach the students, what I'm learning through those studies. And it's just a really fun time for them. So one of the best things I've learned is the best way to retain information is to spit it back out. And so from 8 to 8:15, we go into small groups and we just get students to dive in. Hey, what'd you learn? What'd you get? What is your understanding of this concept? And so just probing with different questions. So that's kind of the overview. We do some stuff outside of that Wednesday night, whether that's events or sport outings. Like if a student has a game, I can usually show up to those. Or, if we have a bonfire like we did recently, we do those and host those for our students as well.
And I'm believing that there's some synergy between your departments because obviously Bailey and her group of volunteers, they have the children and then they're teaching them and preparing them in such a way where the transition going into the youth group with you and your volunteers should be relatively seamless.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely seamless. And honestly, it's been a beautiful thing even this past year. I've only been here a year and a half, but seeing last year we had one of her students come up into the youth and he's probably one of our most interactive students in small groups. Like he outplays the high schoolers every single week. And it warms my heart because I know, A, what she's doing is working, and B, those high schoolers have room to grow because they're being outplayed by a middle schooler every single week. So.
And what's really good about it is if I'm a parent and I have students in these age groups, it's not a babysitting class, right? Yeah. It's not some Bailey's like, no, it's not. It's not individuals just here, drop off your kids and we'll show them a movie and come and pick them up. It's interactive. It's teaching them God's words. It's giving them a time to socialize, giving them a time that they can learn each other, learn what Christian community is, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Good. Good. One of the things that's recently happened, and I'd like to get your feedback on this, is your ministries, the Student Center, has gone through a total remodel. From top to bottom, front to back, it has been gutted and remodeled. Tell us a little bit about that and what that looks like today and the difference.
You can go ahead.
No.
Okay, I will go. So I think the biggest thing that happened that just changed how we did things was before we had a ton of walls, like where all of our gaming areas were, and we knocked those out completely. And so I think that's just really been beneficial, especially for my kids, because, they'll play video games or Foursquare and the youth will join them. And so that makes me happy because I see them interacting with youth. So I know that when they eventually move up, they will have had those interactions. So when they walk into the youth room for the first time, it's not scary and overwhelming. They will see, oh, these are people. And I've already had a conversation with them and I've already played games with them and know what they're like.
So that really goes to what the conversation was just having. It helps with that growing, right? It helps make the transition easier.
Yeah.
Grady, your thoughts?
It's honestly, it's been a great opportunity to see our students, like the high schoolers, just kind of have a serving ability to say, hey, how do we represent the youth well in a way that says, A, this is welcoming, and B, that there's a different maturity level from middle school to high schoolers, and then even in just other small things like with the walls being out, it feels more open, feels more inviting. You don't just come up and go, oh, where's everybody at? Because it's just a hallway. When instead you walk in, you see everyone, you see everything that's going on, you see the fun. It's not like we're trying to hide anything. So
Right.
It's that open environment that just is just warm and welcoming.
Now, one thing that I've seen several times on campus, and I know it's not for my group, so it's got to be for your groups, but I've seen on campus, I've seen at times food trucks. We've had the icy trucks here. Talk to me about that. How does that happen? And do you guys need a volunteer to help with that when the food truck comes?
It doesn't happen all that often, but when it does, it's super special. That was actually my first day here. It was having, it's not Cone Ice because we don't live there anymore. Nomadic Few. That was my first day working here. We had Nomadic Few on a Wednesday. And so that was just really fun to, get to have a lesson and interact with the kids. And yeah, they were focused more on the shaved ice, but it was just really fun to get to see them go and do a mini lesson and then hang out and spend more time just getting to build relationships with each other.
Okay. So what's your favorite flavor?
I don't know. I combine all the flavors.
Oh, you're one of those people.
If I had to pick one, it was probably the blue raspberry.
Okay, Grady, what's your favorite flavor?
Probably, I don't know if it's the same at that place, but tiger's blood or,
Okay,
it's like
I
the
do.
mixture.
Yep. See, I'm pretty standard. I'm like, just give me cherry or give me strawberry and I'm good to go.
Now, Nomadic Few does have like sour syrup that you can put on or sour spray, whatever it is. And so I had kids douse theirs and that was really fun to see.
Yeah, that sounds more like you do when you're a kid versus where I'm at in life right now, right? So let's talk a little bit about this. Summer is fast approaching. I know it just turned spring a couple weeks ago, but summer is fast approaching. And so that's a busy time for both of your ministries.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what kids can expect, what they can get involved in over the summer. Help me understand that, Grady.
Man, there's so much that's happening in the summertime, and it's honestly one of the greatest pleasures being a youth pastor during that time because you're always busy, you're always doing something. So it's just evidence that God is moving, even in sometimes what it feels like seasonal, like, oh, he's putting a lot on us because the kids are free. They don't have nothing to do. So we got to make that opportunity. So this summer it's going to be super awesome. We have lots of stuff planned. The biggest thing is probably our summer camp. Is from June 23rd to the 27th. I believe that's the last full week in June. And it's going to be great. I personally love this camp. I've been there multiple times and actually served on their staff before. And when I was a little bit younger, a few years ago. Yeah. And so biggest thing is if you want to get connected with that, like, hey, we have our socials that has all of our stuff. We just released kind of a calendar on like, here's our first meeting. This is when everything has to be due. And so if parents or students are curious, like, hey, go find our socials or show up and we'll give you a paper with everything on it. So summer camp.
Good.
It's exciting.
Baby?
Yeah, summer is very busy. We have two big things that happen in the summer. First is our summer camp that we have. And probably the biggest thing is VBS that we have coming up. That's second week of June. And so that's just super fun for all of the kids to do. Last year we had 60 kids on average a night. So that was really fun. So that's just a big thing and a week long. And we have just different summer outings like pool parties, going to a water park and hanging out.
Nice. So how long does summer camp last for your age group?
Summer camp is 4 days total. It's 2 full days and then 2 half days.
Okay.
So it's June 28th through July 1st.
Okay. And then for VBS, it lasts the entire week.
Yes.
Kids get a full meal, snacks, they get to hang out, play, hear a Bible lesson, obviously go have worship time, etc.
Yeah, so VBS is June 8th through the 12th, and that's a whole week. So it's Sunday to Thursday. Thursday is our family night. So we invite families to come hang out and kind of see what the program's about. And yeah, kids will come, hang out, do a lesson, worship, play games with Phil, obviously. And if it's anything like last year, they'll get wet. and they'll eat food.
Good deal. And we'll put, for all the folks that are watching this, we'll put that information on the screen so you can see the dates and make sure that you have those. Let me ask you this, and we'll transition to something else, but I have one more summer camp question. What is a favorite memory that just sticks out in your mind from summer camp? Because I'm a product of summer camp. When I started summer camp when I was probably 5 years old, went to the little camp, then I went to junior camp, senior camp. I started working in all the camps. I mean, I was in summer camp all the time. My parents were probably happy about that too. Yeah. But I have so many memories. Give me one quick memory that just really sticks out of when you guys had your kids at summer camp.
Oh, man. It's funny you say that. I have a picture that one of our volunteers printed out for me, and it's sitting on my dresser. And it's me and all of our kids during color war, which is paint, powder, like all disgusting, like instant mud, all this stuff just covered. And we're all just taking a group photo. And it's honestly just a reminder of how fun ministry can be. And it helps me remind me like, oh, I'm getting ready for the day. Boom. There's something there that, hey, sometimes I don't want to go talk to kids who are going to be whiny all night, depending on how they are. But yeah, it's just a fun memory of, I have kids who want to throw mud in my face, and they do it because they love me, not because they hate me.
That's summer camp.
Yep.
I'm a kid.
What about you, Bailey?
So mine is from our last night at summer camp, and by the last night, everyone's super tired, kind of sleep deprived, a little delirious, but we just got back from chapel and canteen, which is always super fun for them, and so they're super energetic. And I don't know, it was probably 10:30 at night, and we finally got all of the kids back into the cabin after a lot of convincing. We had gotten Burger King for them that night because they were hungry, and so were we. And so it's also a picture on my phone, and we were just sitting on the floor in our beds eating Burger King, and look up where we went. They have something called memory makers. And so it's the last night of camp. The adult leaders get little cards, and they will take a couple of kids and write a little note to them. So like a word of encouragement, a Bible verse, affirmation, just something. And so we were all hanging out eating Burger King and just going around sharing what we wrote on the memory makers, giving them out, and just kind of reminiscing about camp. And for a couple of our girls, that was their last night at kids camp ever, because they were moving up into youth. And so it was just really fun.
You guys are pretty awesome, because you take the kids to summer camp or to Burger King even after they've had their supper.
Mm-hmm. We brought Burger King.
Okay. So let me ask you this. If I were to ask some of your students what their favorite part of the youth ministry and the children's ministry, very quickly, what would they say? Bailey?
You get a lot of different answers, I think, and it depends on which student you talk to. But they'd probably say it's just super fun, very high energy. We just do a lot of things. We pack a lot into 1 hour. And so it's just fun, exciting, high energy.
Okay, Grady.
Oh, man, I'd hope they say something about my lessons. But, a lot of it is definitely just them connecting with each other. Some of the greatest memories I have is being in youth group is with the guys that I grew up with, And so I think that's for them. We create an environment where they can have people where they don't just know each other on Wednesdays. They go home, they text each other, they keep accountable. They have that friendship. So I would say that.
Well, guess what, Grady and Bailey? I actually took the time to ask some of your students and some of your students what their favorite part of youth ministry and children's ministry is. Let's see what they had to say. Hey, friends. So, as I mentioned, I am at the main campus. It's Sunday morning. It's about an hour before our service starts, and I wanted to hear directly from some of our youth and some of our children on what they think, what they feel about kids' student ministries and our youth student ministries. Let's go inside and try to find them. They're probably up in the student center, but let's find them. Oh, Mr. Mike, this is Mr. Mike. Let's go upstairs. Oh, look, there's Bailey. Let's go upstairs. Okay, we are in the student center, and we're going to go find some of our children's students, because normally they're up here before church hanging out, and some of them are playing and getting ready for children's worship. Let's go. Hey guys. Hey, can I bug you for a second? Okay, well, I just have a couple questions and then I'll let you guys get back to it. You know what, kind of bunch up just a little bit for the camera here. So I came up this morning because I met with Miss Bailey and Mr. Grady to talk about Mountain Springs youth and Mountain Springs kids. And so I asked them a lot of questions. So I have some questions for you guys about Mountain Springs kids. You have a couple minutes to answer?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, tell me what your names.
Brady, Reed, Ansley,
Kerrigan.
Okay, I have two questions for you. The first question is this. I want you to tell me answer this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you like Mountain Springs Kids Church?
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Absolutely, I love it. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 it is. One more question. What's your favorite part of Kids Church?
Learning about Jesus in fun ways. Learning more about Jesus. Learning more about Jesus in different ways.
Learning about the Bible in special, new, and fun ways that no one's seen.
How awesome is that? Last question, and I'll leave you alone and I'll get out of here. This question is about Miss Bailey. What do you guys think about Miss Bailey?
She's awesome!
There you have it. Knock, knock. Hey, look, we have a couple of the youth. Can we guys bug you a second?
Of course.
All right, so just recently I've met with Bailey and Grady to talk about youth ministries and children's ministries. So you guys are part of the youth department, right? Mm-hmm. So tell me what's your name.
Kaylee.
Cadence.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to rate the youth department 1 through 10. I've already asked Grady and I got his rating, but I want to see if it matches yours. You guys ready? Rate the youth department 1 through 10.
A 10.
10.
Okay, it matches. All right, one more question. I'll let you guys go. If there's one thing that you would want Grady to know, what would it be?
Get better jokes.
Ooh.
He needs to level up in 4th grade because he's not good.
All right, I have one more question as we wrap this up. Talk to me a little bit about your volunteers. I know both of you have a big team of volunteers. It takes volunteers to do what you guys do. Talk to me a little bit about how passionate they are and how valuable they are, because I hear it all the time that they're the backbone of what you folks are doing.
Yeah, I could harp all day about my volunteers. They're amazing. They're kind of the reason that I can do what I do every single week, because they're dependable. You know, they're strong in the areas where they're gifted, and I believe that's just a gift from God. They're pouring and leaning into those areas where Jake is super strong at pouring into the guys and understanding. They need a little bit more in this small group setting of, hey, understand this concept better. You're gonna get there, and it allows me to do fun stuff. Like even this past Wednesday, I was able to take leave and go preach at another church for one of my best friends. And I knew, hey, Edie has the pulpit. She's great. She loves teaching and pouring into our students. And for me to take that moment and to step away and even see the blessings of that. And I got a text that night that said, hey, we had 2 new kids show up. And like, it's a beautiful thing to know, hey, our team has it. Like 2 new kids show up. Edie's speaking, and everything is covered. Nothing bad goes wrong. Just smooth as all get out. So
Okay.
Yeah, mine are great too. I've got a decent amount just because we have Sunday morning and Wednesday night. So Sunday morning, I've got about 7 people volunteering for Sunday morning right now, and they're great and awesome and so prepared and ready to go each Sunday. I was out sick last Sunday, and the volunteer who was there just had it and had everything covered, even though it was pretty short notice. And, I'll come upstairs to get the kids for checkout, and I'll see them running around playing freeze tag with the kids. And so they're not just sitting there on their phone, babysitting, they're interacting with the kids and hanging out with them. And then on Wednesday nights, Kelly and Lisa, who are my 2 volunteers on Wednesday nights, they are the backbone, and they are the reason that kids ministry is what it is, because they invest so much time and energy and resources into Wednesday nights, from, planning birthday parties for kids, or different parties in general. So Valentine's Day, we'll have an Easter party coming up soon, and going to kids camp, which is a lot, so they're just great. And I can't say enough good things about them.
That's awesome. Sounds like you guys really appreciate them, and they're a vital part of the team.
Yeah.
Bailey, before we close up and you guys leave, because I know you guys are busy, we just launched a pre-K class.
Yes.
Give me a couple minutes on that.
Yeah, so our pre-K class is 3, 4, 5-year-old kindergarten. It's around that age group, and they are currently only meeting on Wednesday nights. But Easter Sunday in April, we are getting ready to launch a Sunday morning ministry with that. And so they just have so much fun, and they'll all see pictures and videos on social media with that, and they're just hanging out, learning about the Lord, just building those social emotional skills with everybody else.
Nice. So between our nursery, children's ministry, youth ministry, obviously we have a full gamut of ministering to kids and getting them ready for that next phase in their life.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both so much for taking the time. By the way, love the shirts. Mountain Springs Youth, Mountain Springs Kids, love it. Well done. I didn't even ask for that, but every time I see you guys are branded in Mountain Springs stuff anyhow. But I love those shirts, love the logos. But thank you both. I'm going to say on behalf of our total church, you guys do so much. You're so much a vital part of the success and the growth that our church is seeing. And I know everyone appreciates you, but I just want to remind you, you guys are valued. You're rock stars at what you do. You're professional. You're both Anderson. Well, you'll be an Anderson grad. Yes. You graduated from Anderson, and that's always a plus in my book. But I appreciate you, and I know the church does as well. Thank you for taking the time, joining us today. And if anyone would like to volunteer, any member of our church would like to volunteer to help out, they would just need to come and see you to get the details on how to do that.
Yeah, that definitely. The biggest way you can step in is just tap me on the shoulder on a Sunday or on a Wednesday and say, look, I'm interested. And that will just start the snowball effect of getting you plugged in.
Okay, same for you?
Oh yeah, I'll take anybody.
There's always a need.
Of course.
All right. And then I will say this, that we will have the information on the screen in terms of the Sunday morning and the Wednesday classes that we have for our youth and for our children, just so that you guys will have that. Thank you again for joining us today. We appreciate your time. Bailey, Grady, keep being rock stars, keep being awesome, and keep loving on these kids, because the parents appreciate it. And thank you for joining us again. And do me a favor, come back the next time when we meet again on the 327 Experience. Thank you.